Greetings to you all, and welcome back to the Merry Christmas music that is Scythe. I don't know why the ending screen is quite so jolly, but it is. Welcome to Stage 6. Pistol start, as always. That looks juicy beyond all belief. So does that armor. I'm going to assume I can get back up here. But this is a Berserk kit. Berserk kit heals you back to 100. Whereas your average med kit only heals you 425 health. So you can think of it as a massive jumbo health kit if you like. There's also a stim pack that only heals you for 10. They're the small ones. But I am going to intentionally save that Berserker pack, because I feel I may need the HP. The Berserker packs have an added bonus in that they empower your punches. So once I thin this crowd a little bit, I'll show you. The pistol is weedy. Weedy beyond all belief. It can scarcely kill anything. Even a human being is quite resilient to a pistol. Strangely enough. Well, I know technically they're zombies and not humans, but they're built on the foundations of humanity. That's good enough. To allow me to show you true strength. Ugh. There we go. Punching is ridiculously weak. Even the weakest monster in the game takes a lot of punching. That's not a secret. That's out in the open. I felt I missed an opportunity here. But punching is ridiculously weak. And so, in order to make punching not be completely useless, you have two options. Number one is to get a chainsaw, which makes it even worse. Oh, the chainsaw. Option number two is to get a Berserker pack, which actually makes punching good. That man was floating in midair. Congratulations, man. Now, my screen is blood red because I have Berserk and also forces my fist to come out. In this mode, it's very hard to tell. Yeah, you give him the business. It's very hard to tell when you take damage, because the red flash of taking damage is the same as the red flash of I have Berserk. But I noticed I took damage there. With a Berserk pack, your punches deal 10 times the damage they normally deal. That makes them genuinely good and useful. Avoided that trap completely through luck. And if you're better at the game than I am, you can probably punch out a lot of monsters by bobbing and weaving in between their attacks, like so. And I killed him in 3 punches, I think, which means it would have taken 30 on average without the Berserk pack. I just picked up a partial invisibility. This is terrible. What this does is, you may have noticed before, that monsters that fire projectiles have perfect accuracy. They always shoot directly at where you currently are. They don't try to predict. They don't have any kind of brain whatsoever. They just see man, shoot man. That's it. This is actually a good thing for the player, because it makes all of the monsters very predictable. The projectile-based ones, not the hit scan ones, or the melee attack ones. Which this obviously doesn't apply to. But it makes all of the ranged attackers very predictable. You always know exactly where the projectile's going to go. So it's easy to dodge. You just wait for them to attack and then step. Just one little side step and you'll dodge the attack guaranteed. Because it's always aimed perfectly at you. Let's demonstrate. And no matter what he does, if I just step any direction, I'm guaranteed to avoid his attack. Easy. Just don't lose your cool and you'll be alright in Doom. Unless you get a partial invisibility, then it's time to panic like a lunatic. Partial invisibility will make it so that the enemy tries to attack you, but they're not very good at it. So they get a random offset applied to their attack. That's big sciencey talk. Practical talk means they attack in your general vicinity rather than directly at you. Now, if they're a hit scan, instantaneous bullet that travels across the screen, great. Some of their bullets that were destined to hit you will now miss. If they're a projectile, terrible! You can no longer predict where the projectiles are going to go, and there's just going to be bullets flying at you all over the place. Much like this situation I find myself in. That didn't go so well. Probably should have used the rocket launcher there. On reflection. It's alright, we know what we're doing now. We set off the barrels, it kills all the imps. We got ourselves ripped to shreds, we go back up. Momentarily. We get our berserker pack. And we're A-okay. Number a quirk of the game that's very annoying. Every time you pick up a new weapon, it automatically switches you to it, or if you pick up a berserker pack, it switches you to the fists. This means you might have out a very powerful weapon, the best weapon for a situation. You pick up some piece of trash, and because you don't have it yet, the game decides now you want to use that trash. It's not helpful. There's no way of turning off quick switch in this game, you just gotta deal with it. But it's alright, we'll make it work. This is the minigun. This is the best sniping weapon we've got. Because we can fire it like this. The first bullet is always completely accurate. Although every time we shoot we fire two, so I guess the first two bullets are completely accurate if I'm being technical. Ow. And if we fire the minigun really slowly, we can get some accurate long-range shooting. The damage of the weapon is pretty bad, but it's not great for close combat. Now that I know what lay ahead in the rest of the stage, I don't mind just using all of my ammunition here. I'm not going to try boxing anything. Not going anywhere near that sphere. You know, some people are so dedicated to this game that they play the entire game using only the fist. I'm not even joking, people are crazy. But you know, if you learn a game well enough, why not impose some ridiculous challenges upon yourself? Wait, there's an invisible. Yep. These invisible monsters are just the pinky demons. Did he die? Guess so. They're just the pinky demon, but they're invisible. They're called specters, which is a cool name. Gotta give them that. Rocket launcher is a very powerful weapon. The downside of the rocket launcher, of course, is the fact that it deals damage to yourself as well if you use it in too close quarters. Generally speaking, it's not a good idea to use a rocket launcher in close quarters combat. There are times. Not many, but there are times. I wasn't expecting this screen. I think this is the default screen from Doom 2. That happens at the beginning of level... Level am I on? 7. Because I'm nowhere near a starport. But alright game. You do you. Right. Pistol start, as always. Why am I shooting like a lunatic? Calm down. Seems I picked up a rocket launcher, I didn't even notice. This is the Mancubus. Welcome to the first monster that I would call a genuine threat. That's not fair, we've called Lost Souls already. The Mancubus is a frightening monster. It has a lot of HP, it does a lot of damage with its fireballs, and it attacks in this awkward volley. It will shoot 2 fireballs at a time, 3 times in a volley, unless I interrupt it. But we'll let it demonstrate. We'll let this one demonstrate. You there. Yes, demonstrate with my face. Perfect. That doesn't sound good. This is probably not where I want to be. Okay. So fortunately for me, your projectiles are wider than mine. So I will now begin the slow process of whittling you down. I am actually shooting at those legs. you can see in the bottom middle of the screen. We've not discussed this, but Doom has vertical auto-aim. So I can't look up and down. You've probably noticed that by now, and if you've ever played Doom, you know that. But I can't look up and down. My Y axis is completely locked. So the game has to handle my vertical aiming for me. So if I shoot here, it's aiming downwards at that spider thing, which you can see, because it knows I want to hit it. It will do the same with the rocket, but there's a high chance that I blow myself up because I hit the wall. I'm not feeling too confident with my current position. Okay, we can restart now, game. Game. Alright. Feel like the game is mocking me there. So I should be able to do the first portion without taking any damage at all. Just... I mean, you might be thinking I deserved it for being cocky, but I hadn't even got the words out yet. Can one be cocky if it's still at the thought stage? Okay. So I'm pretty sure the arachnotrons spawn, that's the spider guys, when I kill all of these. Yes. When I say spawn, I mean are revealed. So what if I can secure myself a corner of safety? Get away from me. These explosions are for you, not me. I appreciate your willingness to share, but it's not wanted. Now that I know there's rockets in each of your little hidey holes, I'll be leapfrogging back and forth. Yes, be my meat shield. Thank you. I appreciate everything you've ever done for me. Especially the part where you died for me. Alright, what comes next? Oh. I'm gonna be honest, shorter stage than I expected, but good work, me. There's quite a lot of fire I'm under at the start there. Probably don't want to fight these things until I have a bigger gun. That's not a bigger gun, that's actually a smaller gun. Once again, the game mocks me. Then it offers me a partial invisibility. We've gone from mockery to flat-out insulting. Right, let me lure you out and deal with you while I'm protected by this altar. So the Mancubus's triple volley attack that you're seeing there has a certain pattern to it. He will shoot at you and offset to the side. I forget which side is first. Then he will shoot at you and offset to the other side. And then he will shoot either side of you for the third attack. Now, if you don't know this, it looks like he's just firing multiple shots in your direction, and it's very scary. But once you know there's a pattern to it, you can play around it. Because despite the way it looks, it's not random or variable at all. It's just that he has 3 different shots, and he uses them in sequence. As everyone else in the game, I think, just has one attack, and they just like to use it over and over again. Enjoy. That was a delicious sound. It's all crisp and juicy and Taking you on an odd tour through all the enemies, considering what I have discussed and what I've not. But we'll the next enemy I see that I haven't talked about yet, we'll talk about. It's an imp. So these are imps. They walk around and they shoot fireballs, that's it, that's all they do. They can claw you in melee range as well. I think the melee range does exactly the same damage as the fireball. And damage of every attack in this game, mine and the enemies, is all variable. So no one is... Oh, that's not true, there are some that are fixed. But most attacks are variable. So people aren't going in and hitting you for 20 damage, they're hitting you from anywhere between 2 and 40 damage. It's wild, the damage intervals in this game. They are some enormous swings. Now, I'm going to get the numbers wrong because I'm not an expert on these kind of things, but I believe there's an enemy called the Revenant, and his attack varies somewhere between 16 and 80. I think that's correct. If not, the numbers are near enough. But the point is, just depending on your luck, if you take a hit, you might shrug it off like it's nothing, or you might die on the spot. And it keeps things exciting. Every hit can do serious damage. But an imp is nothing to fear. An imp has very low HP. They die, usually, not always, from a single shot from a shotgun, a few bullets from the minigun. They will die guaranteed from a rocket if they're anywhere near the center of it. Very easy to kill. But if there's a lot of them in large numbers and they're far away and they're chucking fireballs at you, they can make an awkward obstacle to try and evade. Why are you giving me so many rockets? Why are you giving me this? It's a trap! I knew it was a trap! Okay, these are minigunners. This is probably the most terrifying enemy in the entire game. Minigunners are a hit scan enemy, which means their bullets travel instantaneously, and so they can't be avoided by the usual trick. That's why you gave me this. It actually would have been good. You can't avoid their bullets with the usual little bit of side step in. Because of that, if you see a minigunner, we're going to deal with them quickly. They are very fragile. So we got that going for us. Very easy to kill. If you're wondering how I'm resetting my character back to a pistol start at the beginning of each stage, oh yes, lovely secret, never would have found it. I'm using a cheat code. I'm using the level select code, in fact. So I just level select to the level that I'm on, and it puts me back on the same level, but with no items. Now, if you're wondering why I'm doing that, and I'm not just running through the whole game with the weapons and keeping them and that saving some ammo from a previous stage because I think it might be useful in the next stage, yada yada. It's because these levels are primarily designed to be played the way I'm doing it from a pistol start. You'll notice that most of the stages start with relatively weak enemies, and then the tougher enemies are found further in the stage. And also, there are lots of side rooms and passageways that have the glorious reward of a new weapon, like this. Look at this corridor. This is, congratulations, you found the rocket launcher. It's probably booby-trapped in some way, but the level is saying, you need a rocket launcher to complete this stage. Here is the rocket launcher. Congratulations. Now you can do the rest of the stage. Okay, you don't need it, technically speaking, but you get what I mean. If I just started the stage with a rocket launcher and I saw that, I'll go, rocket launcher, who cares? The actual rocket launcher itself that was on this plinth would be the same as a box of ammo to me. But because I don't have a rocket launcher, suddenly that item has value and meaning. And that means we can make wonderful, intricate levels with different weapons available at different times. Otherwise, as soon as I get the strongest weapon in the game, I'm just going to keep it for the rest of the game. And that means every level from then on would have to be explicitly designed around the strongest weapon in the game, which isn't very fun. Because then we don't get these early sections. Where do I go? Looks like you come out of this window to grab the red key. You can kill those just to make a point. You can kill those as well just to make a point. Not go anywhere. Where I came from. That's where the rocket launcher was. This doesn't come down. This looks like an elevator by the texture. But it ain't coming down. Alright, in that case, it's time to bust out the map. I just see the button. We will delay use of the map until we really need it. I have nothing wrong with using the map. I think the map's great, but it breaks up the flow of gameplay, so I don't use it unless I need it. I'm not stupid. I can get the red key like this. Yes, I can. Oh, platforming. Platforming in Doom. Who thought this was a good idea? Platforming in Doom is a very mixed bag. Sometimes, if you make the platforming very easy and high speed, then it can feel like a bit of a rush. If you make the platforming really technical and precise, it is a slog. So hopefully Scythe. I don't remember Scythe having any bad platforming sections. Hey, it's a Revenant. Revenants are very spooky. You can tell that because they are skeletons. And skeletons are famously spooky, as per the song. I'm sure we'll see a lot more Revenants. They are most mapmakers' favourite enemy. With a good reason. They're a very exciting enemy. They're a very threatening enemy. And a very fair enemy. I believe I have a key I never used. I'm curious. Whilst I could end the stage. What was the purpose of the yellow key? Give me the blue key. Okay, what's the purpose of the blue key? That was the map. I just flashed it. Did you like it? Did you enjoy the map? I was looking at something very specific on the map. It just spawned in? That's like a lost soul. No, it's another Revenant or two. Okay, I'll tell you what I was looking at on the map screen. Top left corner, monsters. 74 out of 74. I was checking how many enemies were left in the stage. I was trying to determine how long this alternate path was going to be. There was about 5 enemies there, so it was fine. But away we go. Wait, that's the wrong stage? That's the one I just did. There we go. Right, level 10. An arrow on the floor. Well, that's a trap if ever I seen one. I'm gonna avoid that like the plague. Backpack. You seem to be equipping me for a showdown. Is that a... I don't think I'm coming back here by the look of this pit. This looks like a showdown to me, but alright, bring it. How is this a secret? It's the only way to go. Look, man who made Scythe. Eric something. It was on the title screen. I can't remember. We need to have a word about what a secret is. As we get further through the stages, you'll notice me start the level by going, how many monsters are here? 6? What is this level? Hello? Hello? I knew this would lower because it was a different colour. That's how the world works. Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you very much. So you may be looking at this enemy thinking, I saw this enemy before, but it was a different colour. Correct. What does that mean? It means now it's stronger. This was what we used to do back in the 90s? 80s? Well, when did Doom come out? 90? I think it was 1990, but could be completely wrong. So what happens is you design... That's everything in this level, apparently. You design a really cool-looking enemy, and then you use him. He was called the Hell Knight, the first guy, the pale-looking one. He's called the Hell Knight, and he wasn't the first one either. This is a very bad analogy. Let me start again. You create a very cool looking enemy called the Baron of Hell. This guy. He's pink. He's a demon. He's got a sort of goat vibe to him. He's intense. He's a strong guy. And then you think, well, I've already made the artwork, all of the sprite work, the different angles, the sounds, everything. But I could really do with this enemy again, but slightly weaker. Because I'm looking for a sort of mid-tier enemy. Well, hold your horses. I'm dead. We can just recolor the existing enemy and use him again. And that way we don't need to design anything new or do any work whatsoever. Thumbs up. That's how we used to do it back in the day. Wonderful stuff. If you wonder why I just blew up and died at the end there, allow me to explain. Pistol starts, as we've discussed. The game intends me to play using pistol starts. For the most part, by the way the levels are designed, you can see that. But the game accepts that some people like to play carrying their weapons over. However, the game, if it chooses, has a way to force you to start the next level from a pistol start, with only the pistol. Nice music. The way it does that is it kills you. If... Don't chomp me. If the level ends with you being put onto an exit panel, floor, plane, I don't know how the game's programmed, an exit zone, and at the same time it kills you, usually with an explosion, then what happens is the game will say, you did it, you beat the level because you're in the exit zone. But it will also go, bad news, you're dead. So I'll respawn you in the next level because you did this one, you beat it. It's a weird quirk, and it's not intended, and it never happens in the main game, except for one stage, actually, in Doom 1, I think. Kind of. But the idea is that using this forced death in the exit area, you can make the player start the next level with a pistol. Only. Pistol start. That was a long explanation for something very simple. I apologize. But me saying the same thing... Whoa, don't look at any of that. Ooh, oh dear. What is this called? Scythe. Thanks, demon. But hopefully me explaining it 5 times over, that will suffice. That is levels 6 through 10 of Scythe. Next time we will be continuing. I don't know how many levels are going to be in the next episode, because we're through the baby's first beginner entry stages now. Which means I'm going to start facing longer levels, and I'm going to start dying and having to replay levels. But regardless, hopefully you'll join me for that, and I shall see you then.